food from the farm to our fork eats up 10% of the total U.S. energy budget, swallows 50% of U.S. land, and drinks 80% of all fresh water consumed in the U.S. Despite this complicated process, 40% of our food goes uneaten. This means that Americans are currently throwing out $165 billion of food each year, or letting it rot in landfills, as the largest component of U.S. municipal solid waste. This accounts for 25% of the U.S.'s methane emissions. Reducing food losses by just 15% would be enough food to feed more than 25 million Americans every year, at a time when 1 in 6 Americans struggle with food insecurity. One solution to this growing issue has been proposed by the Food Recovery Network.
I went to undergrad at Maryland, and there I was involved in the Food Recovery Network. And so basically what it is that it takes the food that would be wasted by the diner every day, and we basically just pack it up and take it to a homeless shelter. So what we're doing here is, this is actually our first recovery here at GW. And so we're taking the food that's left over from J Street, and we're taking it to Gospel Rescue Ministries, which is a homeless shelter in Chinatown. And it's a really great idea because, one, it's extremely sustainable because it takes the food that would normally be wasted, and instead of downcycling it and making it, compost and fertilizer, it just keeps it as it is, and then it's used as meals for people who wouldn't normally have it. So everyone benefits. The diner doesn't have to waste the food, and the homeless shelter gets food that it wouldn't normally have.
So far, Food Recovery Network has expanded from our initial chapter at the University of Maryland to 19 different college campuses now, with the inaugural opening today of the GW chapter of Food Recovery Network. And we've donated over 140,000 pounds of food to hungry Americans, feeding over 100,000 people. So all of that over the past year and a half. And Andrew, do you want to say anything about it?
Yeah, definitely. The great thing about Food Recovery Network is it actually benefits all parties. It benefits the community because it reduces the amount of money that different homeless shelters need to spend on food, and allows them to spend money on different efforts like literacy programs or job search programs. It reduces the bottom line of these dining halls or restaurants because it makes them realize how much food they're actually wasting. And we saw when we first started recovering, we got a lot of food, and we saw a reduction in the food over time because we were cataloging the amount of food we were wasting. And we actually think that's a great thing. We're still recovering food. We're also saving food from being created in the first place and being wasted. It really helps us with sustainability of the environment and of these areas.
And I'll say one more thing is that you hear a lot about sustainability on college campuses, and it's a big push right now across the country, and everybody's trying to become as sustainable as possible. And with Food Recovery Network, we're able to cut down on the amount of food wasted, which is actually America's #1 waste stream. And the EPA estimates that 70 billion pounds of food goes to waste every single year. That's enough to fill up the Rose Bowl with food waste every single day of the year.
Composting is a really wonderful opportunity for us to divert our waste from the landfills. As some of you may know, compost, I think, accounts for about 1/3 of our total waste in landfills, and that is one of the biggest culprits behind the methane gas production and our greenhouse gas emissions that are some of the factors leading to global warming and climate change. And so by diverting our food waste into a compost program, we're able to mitigate the greenhouse gas production and the things that are going into the landfill. So it's a really useful practice. And in addition to that, the compost is also used to amend soils. So for landscaping projects, and anybody who's going to do anything in their yard or large-scale farming, compost is a great benefit. It's nutrient rich. It has a lot of benefits for producing produce, for growing flowers, and a number of things. And so it's just a valuable resource. We're really excited here with the Office of Sustainability to launch our Pelham Compost pilot. It's exciting. It's only been up and running for about 3 weeks, and so we haven't quite had an opportunity to measure the impacts. But one of the things that we've observed is a number of students are very excited to have it there and available to them, and the students that live up in Mount Vernon campus are excited that they were the first people to get to test composting for the GW campuses.